Hello everyone, welcome to the Social Club. We're here during an international break. Yeah, which means we have to talk a little bit about England and that. We're going to start thrilling. How many people are going, yeah, shout.
Talk more about
We'll come back for more. We will be talking about some amazing potential signings coming to the Premier League and a little bit about the Merseyside derby as well, still to come. But first, is Jermain Defoe too old for England? I mean, clearly not, because he played at the weekend and scored. But it does.
Is it more, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point.
What's the point of Jermain Defoe?
What's the point of England? Yeah, exactly. No, but it is. I mean, ultimately, that's the point. Isn't it? Jermain Defoe, he's 34. By the time the World Cup rolls around, he's going to be 35. You know, and why are we living in a world where you change the manager, more things change, injury problems notwithstanding? You ask the question, what's the point of putting Jermain Defoe in an England squad?
Because he scores goals.
Yeah.
I suppose is the only point, isn't it? That's why you put strikers in the squad. I think, for me, you look back at his this season and last season, the first time he scored double figures goals in seasons since before 2008. You know, so he's in a good run right now, and if you can put him on the side, and if he's a squad player, I start when I saw the topic, I started thinking, well, is it more point having him there than a 16-year-old Theo Walcott that's not going to get minutes?
Yeah.
Because I personally think that, that's probably a better option for you. I get the long-term benefits that you give a kid and you take them away and they learn about it and that, but kind of need people who are going to actually affect football matches, and Jermain Defoe could do that. And the thing is, right now, he's 34, 35 by the time the World Cup rolls around, but you don't know what form he's going to be, and if he's in shit form, you just don't take him.
Yeah, exactly. I think I get the general point of it. I mean, particularly like Jamie Vardy starts on the bench in that game, comes on, scores a goal as well. To be fair, is there not more benefit to playing someone like Vardy, because he's, again, form notwithstanding again, he's at least likely to be in and around the setup consistently between now and then?
I think there's two issues. I think the first issue is Jamie Vardy looks like a rat. So
that is an issue.
I find
That's his personal issue, though, isn't it?
I find it difficult to look at him without thinking of him gnawing at cheese. I don't know if I can cope. I just don't know how long I can. And Defoe, like Kiss just said.
We know you're a big fan of Defoe.
I've said this before. Why he's not playing for the top four side, I'll never know. And he could do the same thing for England. He could be that person. If I had 10 minutes left in a game and I needed to score a goal and I looked at my bench, I would love to have Jermain Defoe on there. Mm-hmm. Whether that be for England, whether that be a top four side, whoever. And if you manage him right for a season, like you think about how many games a top four side has over a year when they're in the Champions League and they're competing at all things, he would get plenty of game time. And I just think it's a no-brainer if he did the same for England. If you had him on last 10 minutes, what he would bring, that experience he'd bring on the pitch, I'd rather have that than some young upstart who'd run on and run round a little bit. And okay, we've had...
Headless chicken, yeah.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, we've had players in the past who, like Owen, who've been a little bit more savvy, who can do that. But I'd rather have Defoe and team and
there was a comment
country.
made. We were doing the production meeting for this morning, and one of the lads made a mention of, believe it or not, like and the comment was made that it was that it's a bit. It just says Little England having, you know what I mean, like having someone like Defoe go to the World Cup. Well, you know, but there's the point.
It's exactly the opposite.
Well, I disagree in so much as I just don't think it's a bad thing, and it goes past this what we were talking about last week about England redefining what they are. Yeah. Here's the point. Look at Robbie Keane. For Ireland, he's a bazillion years old, and yet he was still scoring. He was still a regular goal scorer. You know, there was still a lot of reliance put on him. The point is, these are competitive football matches. Exactly what Chris says. You put the guys on there. But they still are. You can say what you want about Lithuania, it's right, but England, you've still got to go out, and you've actually got to go out and win them, haven't you?
Some teams beat Norway this weekend. You know what I mean?
They did 2-0. Ireland 3-0 with Wales as well.
Mm-hmm. But is the point? But is the point? You know, like, you know, if there's guys out there who can do a job, they can score goals. No one's building a team around Jermain Defoe as such, but having those guys who can assist.
I would pick Jermain Defoe all day. We were talking about this. Was it last week? We were talking about Jermain Defoe as well. Like, no matter what way you look at it, he's a decent centre forward. Why wouldn't he be picked? If he's in the form he's in at the minute, scoring goals, personally speaking, I think Sunderland are going to go down. He's going to go somewhere else. But the thing with Jermain Defoe is, where is he going to go that he's going to get proper game
I think the
time?
ultimate question is, can Jermain Defoe sell Carlsberg and Shaw deodorant? Am I right? Am I right? Can he sell those products? Because that's all the England squad seems to get fucking picked on.
Yeah.
What they look like on the side of...
So what's going on with Barkley then? Because he's with Shaw, isn't
he
he?
can, no. No, but that's the point, isn't it? When they get for England, it does seem to have... We've seen for years this manufactured squad almost, and how they... I mean, you know, it's not whether they can do it in semi-finals, it's whether they can do it in penalty shootouts and Mars bar adverts.
Yeah.
That I feel is the way to do it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we seem to have an issue with goalkeepers because we have to pull fellas out the crowd doing goal. Which I just don't think's legal at FIFA. But other countries, a lot more savvier countries, have those players on the bench. I mean, Italy.
But the whole point is he doesn't want to be in the bench. That's the whole point.
No, I know, but that's not his decision. No, but look at someone like Italy. Italy've still got Buffon in goal, right? Yeah. He's like, he's talking about age. He's still at the best. They've got like a 17-year kid who's amazing for AC Milan. If it was this country, we'd all be like, get the young kid in goal, get the young kid in goal. Yet they've got such an experienced old goalkeeper.
Do you think the Michael Owen thing's kind of tainted everyone's perception and that, because that's where the Theo Walcott thing came from? Yeah. Theo Walcott was taken because everyone thought he's fast, he'll be the next Michael.
Didn't play a single minute.
Can I just put my hand up? No, it didn't. It come from Ronaldo, 1994. Brazil took Ronaldo.
But they didn't take him, did they? He was there.
He was in the squad.
Yeah, but he wasn't like he wasn't.
He was in the.
All right, Sam. But what I mean is, did you remember his performances?
No, because he didn't play.
Exactly.
Well, and Walcott didn't play.
Yeah, but the point is, I mean, for England, I don't think. Okay, maybe look. The point, whether it's Owen,
I love coming on this show and getting in between your two arguments. Seriously,
sorry, this is my.
It's like a fucking back and forward every week.
This is my. I've just won an argument stance.
All right, so the point is, what I'm making with the Michael Owen thing is that England have this expectation that saying you're going to do something and just throwing a kid in is they'll be as good as Michael Owen somehow. Like, I mean, I think England fall foul of what you're saying. That notion of the last forward we pick has to be some child in the hope that they'll be the next great thing. But
they're never going to play.
Well, exactly. I think Ped's argument on Italy's right. Look at Miroslav Klose. The guy had nothing to offer as an all-round footballer. I know for Germany by the end of his career, but they kept.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You know, and there's a reason why he's the fourth top goal scorer in European.
Be serious about it though. Say if I don't mean it disrespectfully, Lithuania or anyone else in your group, but if you had serious competitive games, would you mean Defoe be picked?
I think it'd be.
I think
you'd have to. I think you'd have to.
Yeah.
Because you need someone who's going to score goals.
Well, here's the point. Harry Kane's out injured. Daniel Sturridge's legs are made of cheese. And then who else? Wayne Rooney's not fully fit, is he? Who else are we missing there? I think there's Vardy's fit available. And they've gone, well, this is the thing. Rashford. It's a competitive game of footy. Well, they took Rashford and Rashford came on, didn't he? But they played him out wide because that's what your manager seems to think he should be playing. But this is the thing, isn't it? Because that's a competitive game of football. I'm not sure it's necessarily indicative of what's going to happen in a major tournament, but Gareth Southgate's looked at this and gone, what we've said there, well, he needs to win this game no matter what. Yeah. What are you going to do? Take a gamble on Rashford as you said before?
Why do you not gamble on, it's not a gamble on, sorry to interrupt, it's not a gamble on Vardy though, is it? If he's done it before.
No, I agree. I do agree with that.
I just look at it and go, everyone says if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah.
But no one applies that to the far end of the spectrum.
Only this country.
They only apply it to young
only
people.
This country.
It's mad.
Every other country, they'll go with the players.
Yeah, other countries revere their older people.
We always seem to like be at the opposite end of things. Like when other countries doing something, we just do the opposite, and then then we swap.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how old he is, it doesn't matter how young they are. If they've got something to offer, play them. And it also doesn't.
It's like a swingers party, Ped, the way you put that.
I honestly
go on. Go on.
I've taken a few people.
Yeah, I've dropped them off. And also, I suppose it's the notion of building a team to get to a World Cup. You have to get to a World Cup at times, and sometimes you just got to... Listen, I don't give a fuck. But
that's the thing for me. It boils down to it. People might say it because there's too much of this, like, Jermain Defoe because he's playing for Sunderland. And this is where...
But he's scoring goals week in, week out for Sunderland.
Exactly, that's the thing that fucking does my head in about the whole thing. No one's saying that when Harry Kane, etc., and all that are fit, that he's going to be starting games for England. And look, let's be honest, if he does and he scores goals, I think the people who support England shouldn't give a shit one way or the other.
I don't think they will. You look at the goal that he scored last night, and he just waltzes into space. You don't need pace to do that. Yeah. He just finds a pocket of space and just puts it into the top bin. And you don't need pace. Doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. If you can find that space, you can finish. That's what he's there to do, and he's done it.
And to be honest as well, people moaned when Shearer retired early. Like, he's retiring too early, he's got all this experience, and people moaned about that. Yeah. But you've got to look at it the other way as well. You know, if Defoe is up for it and wants to play and is eager to play, let him play. Yeah. Let the boy play.
Let him play.
The whole point is he's not going to play. He's going to be, as soon as everyone else is fit, he's going to be on the bench. What's the point of taking him not playing?
Who's everyone else? Who is everyone else though?
Who's Harry Kane?
That's it.
Well, he's only playing with one forward, isn't he?
Yeah, but my
Harry Kane, Rooney, and whoever else, they're all going to go in front of him.
If I looked at that bench, I'd want Defoe on for the last 10 minutes to score me a goal.
Can I ask you a question then? Just because they're not necessarily mutually exclusive because they play in slightly different positions, of course. But if it came down to a Defoe or Rashford.
Right, I tell you what. Before we go any further, when we did the Euros squad builder last year, I was adamant that Defoe shouldn't get in there, and that was off. I'm just going to say that I remember that. And I was adamant that he shouldn't get in there. If anyone's watching remembers that, yeah, I was totally against it. But the fact is now he's done it for nearly 2 seasons. He's proved that he's back. He's scoring goals all the time. If he gets to it and he's had a 3rd season where he's scored just under 20 goals or whatever, mid-teens, whatever, then you've got to look at him and go, well, he's probably will have scored more than Rashford, I'd guess. I can't imagine Rashford taking the step up to 15, 16 goals, and I kind of just base it on that. Like, there could be a place in the squad for Rashford. If he goes and scores 30 goals next season, we're not talking about it.
But he won't, though, will he?
No,
he won't. And Defoe probably will. And that's the difference. You can rely on Defoe and squeeze every last drop out of him while he can, because he could just go like that.
I think there's a difference, isn't it? Because I think we've seen a few too many. I think we've had that happen with a couple of players. You saw John Terry's legs fall off like a couple of tournaments ago.
That's the thing with age, isn't it?
I think there's a space for it on
but
the.
But he's clearly fit enough to play, though, isn't he?
Exactly.
He's clearly fit enough.
But you can drop off a cliff, can't you?
But I think I saw the stat. He's only ever. I can't, I'm not doing it just to say it properly, but he doesn't complete 90 minutes for England. I think he's done it a handful of times. 60 minutes he was brought off in that game, but exactly. But you bring in Vardy on, who's got all the legs against tired opposition and all that kind of stuff. So
he's like is he 3 years older than Rooney? He's only played like just about 40 games more in his career. So over the course of his career, and that's not even including international. Rooney's probably played more games as a 31-year-old. So if you're worried about how many minutes they've put into the legs,
and he's played in the MLS.
Exactly. We talked last week about having that varied experience. The only thing on Jermain Defoe, and I think the only negative that comes with it is. And England have this problem where they bring these other names in. Like, there's always like 3 or 4 guys that get a game every now and again. And the problem is that these guys have never played or have rarely played football at the highest level. And there is something to say about having guys. If these guys get dropped into major games and they always seem to struggle, you never see the same player. I remember, like, seeing Ricky Lambert play for England and you're like, mate, somebody for Liverpool. To be fair, you see them going, I get it, you look really good for Southampton, but you're not starting for any other country in the world.
And if it was a serious game, you wouldn't even get a sniff.
So I see it for and against, but I agree. I think the general consensus there. If he's going to score goals, you could do a lot worse than have a guy who scores double figures. And who knows with the back of the net.
I'd like to put a bet on this now that the question before the Euros, if Defoe's still fit, is Carroll or Defoe? That's the question that us England fans will be left with.
Will have had his natural, gotten fit for the last 5 games of the season, scored 5 goals. Yeah, sound. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so there's a question. Would you pick Carroll or Defoe?
No, you know what?
Depends
There's a time and a place for Carroll. There really is. Yeah. But he's too unreliable.
Yeah, it's normally just standing for Brendan Fraser in the new George of the Jungle film. But I agree. It depends. Look, if Harry Kane goes, you've got your target man already, haven't you? You know what I mean? There's probably something to be said for someone who just knows what the fucking goal
is. Yeah.
I'll argue
I'm
that,
inclined to
can't
agree,
you?
actually.
But let us know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Jermain Defoe too old for England or not? And, you know, would you like to see him get into a squad, or would you like to, whoever that might be, someone might emerge next season, you know, if there was a world where the next hot talent or whatever isn't getting that experience in favour of someone like Defoe, would that piss you off? Is that the kind of thing that would piss you off? Because that's weird. But anyway, thoughts below. Subscribe to Ball Street by clicking the Ball Street everyone. Check out this week for more Social Club. We've got Neymar, Griezmann and Zlatan as Man United's potential new front three. Yikes. And some Merseyside derby chat as well.